First off, I'd like to thank these amazing people who decided to support me directly and make my work here on the platform so much easier. And remember, if you also want to help me out, the missile knows where the join button is at all times. Hello pilots, welcome back. How have your battles been? Mine have been going well. Today I've got some great news for F-16 fans. That's right guys, the Block 50 is officially an awesome 13.7 to fly. I'd say its consistency is almost the same as when it dropped with the SMT 2 years ago. Yeah, it's already been 2 years since the Block 50 was dropped for us. Time really flies, right? The Block 50 was already starting to feel a bit outdated since it wasn't a super deep upgrade. This F-16 Block 50 we have in the game is known as the F-16CM. And it was a modernization standard to hold things over until the F-35 showed up, just to keep its multi-role abilities up to date, along with tech like Link 16 and all that. So this F-16 is still capable, but if you look at what's at the top of the game right now, it's tough for it to keep that Lion performance it used to have. Even with the buff it got, you still gotta respect the jets that are better. The changes are pretty much what happened with the Su-30. You're flying way faster now thanks to the stronger engine, and that helps with other stuff like dogfighting and all that. Alright, enough talking, that's the intro. So let's check out together how much better this bird is flying in the next matches. Let's go. One of the secrets to doing well with the F-16, just like I said in my SUFA video, is making really good use of your missiles. You only get 6 chances, so that says a lot about how many frags you can get. I'd say a solid consistent number is 2 to 4 frags. More than that is risk, luck, and skill. That's up to you. If you want to save missiles, playing on defensive and passive routes is the best move, since most of the time you'll be playing as a support jet or just looking for opportunities. And please, avoid BVR. I'll show you how to do BVR with this jet later on. And even if you're on defensive routes, there's always work to do, especially against players who love to play super aggressive. Check this out. Here I waited a good while before firing my missiles and still got the chance to shoot at 3 targets at the same time. Huge W for me. You might think, karma, that was just spam. But let me tell you why it wasn't. It looks like it, but it really wasn't. First, I shot at targets that were at a perfect distance, close enough that they had to react well to defend. And at the same time, their aspect was burning hot. So even if I didn't get all 3, those were 3 good shots. Focus on the quality of your shots. Some people see a dot way off on the radar. The guy's 90 degrees to the left, totally cold, and they still fire. That's just not it. Now, keeping an eye on my radar and also looking around with my own eyes, I carefully move up the flanks until I find another target to engage. Again, 2 good shots. Here the F-14 messed up the notch completely. Honestly, I wouldn't even say he tried to notch. He probably just thought he could bleed the missile. But man, you're also wasting countermeasures if that's what you were going for. In this situation, I made 6 good shots, got 5.5 frags. Now all I can do is bait enemies and maybe, if I'm lucky, get 1 more kill, but that's pretty tough. The J-11B still looks like it's got dirty claws, so I'm going to move in carefully to engage if I need to. Yeah, in an environment like this, it's really hard to get gun kills. My team already had air supremacy, so I was just here as some extra backup. I still tried to grab a frag since I knew he was on severe, but it didn't work out. At least I got another assist. Grab any frag you can, just be careful with team kills when you're closing in. Alright guys, second match. I'm in a down tier session. The highest I'll see is 14.0, and that's exactly the kind of situation where you can risk a BVR shot every now and then, but you gotta watch out for Phoenixes and Fakurs. Unlike the Tomcats, you should only fire BVR if you're absolutely sure the missile's gonna hit, because losing a missile in this jet hurts. It hurts a lot, but at the same time, you're not always gonna get the chance to fire, since you might have to defend first. In those cases, it's better to just stay passive. Keep on your defensive route, head for a flank, or play support. For example, I'm already getting a track warning, so even though I really want to stay, I'm just gonna get out of this area. Well, nobody fired, so I could have stayed, but I really don't want to rely on luck when it comes to Tomcats. Plus, we're already in a good spot to go after that group rushing down the middle. Beautiful. This was just beautiful. My bird flew really well, and this kind of situation fits the F-16's playstyle perfectly. Keeping your energy up the whole time, baiting for the team, just awesome. But of course, while I'm doing all that, I still want my share of the rewards. Since this is a down tier, sometimes you don't have time to rearm before the match ends. So if I want frags, I'm gonna risk some gun kills. But you gotta be smart about it. I can't just fly in front of the enemies and hope they magically end up right in my sights. So I'm gonna fly in passive spots. That means staying out of the enemy's sight and following them, just like I did with the J-11 last match. Sooner or later, I'll definitely get a chance to take someone out. See what I was talking about? Here, my team got wiped out by two flankers, one of them with Fox 3s, so it's still gonna be a tough fight. J-11B ended up in a bad position. He could have just stayed closer to his teammates so they could help each other out. Now it's time to reposition and back up the Hornet. That's it. Really well played by both my teammate and the Su-27. Everyone danced to the music just right, but playing 1 versus 2 is tough sometimes, so I ended up coming out on top. GG. Let's head to the next match. Alright guys, there's not much to say about positioning in this match. It's more of the same. With the F-16, you're pretty limited in what you can do. The difference here is, it's an up-tire against Rafale, so it's gonna be a bit tougher. Just stick around for the positioning phase. It's the end of the BVR phase, and you can still see some targets on radar about 40 kilometers out, so I can move around pretty well based on that. I'm just locking targets to get an idea of who I can shoot at. Remember, every shot counts, so you really gotta think about who you're focusing on. This was almost perfect. I got some really good positions, but it's worth saying I was with my team. Without them, not even half of this would have been possible. I caught most of the Rafales while they were focused on other targets, so it was kind of a mix of skill, the right situation, and a bit of luck. That's what you should be looking for when you're flying your F-16. Now, I'm gonna go find where the last princess is hiding in the woods, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, this last match is a down tier, the only one in the whole video, and honestly, it's the kind of match I hate the most when I'm playing Block 50. 1 ER is more than enough to stop you, and the way people play here is just questionable sometimes. Sometimes the match lasts 2 minutes. Sometimes one of the teams gets sucked into a black hole in under a minute. It's just terrible. The skill gap here is huge because this BR has a ton of inexperienced pilots, wallet warriors, and all that. If that's you or you know someone like that, keep watching and share the channel with your friend too, so we can change this and make this bracket a bit more human, because sometimes I just don't have words to describe what I see here. Now, focusing back on the match, while I was getting into position, I tried another one of those BVR shots I mentioned to you guys, but no luck. As soon as I saw the F-14 on the RWR, I had to respect it. It's honestly really tough to get frags in BVR with the Block 50 these days. It's like once every 10 matches, if you play like I do, trying to squeeze every bit of performance out of the jet and get as many frags as possible. I might not have gotten anything in BVR, but I did get this free frag thanks to our our lovely RNG system. Big applause for that, guys. Compared to the 14.3 jets we face, 12.7 is basically a walk in the park. You just go out there, shoot, defend yourself, and enjoy the insane engine power the Block 50 has. Alright folks, that's all for today. Hope you liked it. Do you agree or disagree with anything I said? Tell me down in the comments. Your feedback is super important to me. The video ends, but the chat stays. Karma out.